Welcome to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I'm your host, Jackie Hermans. So, we have a lot of great stuff coming up on the show. Last week, we had 2 authors on the show. This week, we have another author. Holly Gaudry is on the show, and she has been designated as, you'll have to watch the show to find out, so stay tuned for that. I'm also talking to Mark Burney about their newest campaign about fire safety, and then finally CIBC Run for the Cure. We'll be talking about that upcoming event. Wait till the very end because I'm going to be using my channeling ability and I'm going to be pulling some cards to tell you what the energy is like for this week, so you are prepared and you're ready to take life by the horns. So we'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life. Keep on watching.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Today, I helped a senior find transportation to an important medical appointment.
Today, I helped a new mom find virtual programming so she didn't feel so isolated.
Today, I helped someone understand new government supports.
Every day, 211 navigators connect Canadians to critical government and community programs and services.
211. Help starts here.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Van Vilsen. My next guest is Wilma Watton, the newly elected mayor of Scugog Township. We'll learn all about Mayor Watton and what it's like to be in politics. We'll also find out the story behind the person. Right here on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Live. I am with the Scugog Fire Chief Mark Burney, and we are talking about their latest campaign, Saved by the Beep. Now, this campaign is so important because last year there were 133 fire fatalities.
There was.
And now, before the show, you had told me this was the highest in 20 years?
The highest number of fire fatalities in 20 years across the province of Ontario.
Have people gotten lazy? What do you think is going on?
I think there's a number of things. Lazy, complacent, reacting to the smoke alarms, nuisance alarms, and then perhaps forgetting to put their batteries back in. Or, maybe it's a choice between food and a battery for the smoke alarm.
Okay, so you just said nuisance alarms, and yeah, I've done that before. I've been cooking, and sometimes if I'm in a position where the fire alarm is super sensitive, and then the alarm's going off and nothing's burning, then they'll take those batteries out. But then when you don't put them back in, that's a bit of a problem.
Exactly, it is. And something, you can call your local fire department and ask for advice on a smoke alarm. There are smoke alarms that are good for the kitchen area or good for the area outside your shower.
Yeah.
And there's smoke alarms that are good for, the bedroom or the living room that aren't as sensitive to the steam and what have you. And they're perfect choices so that you don't have to deal with those nuisance alarms.
Got you. And that's a much better choice then, because we should not be taking the batteries out of our alarms.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. And with this campaign, not only are we're pushing smoke alarm safety for everybody across the province, but we're also looking at a date, September 28th, and we want the whole province, every dwelling, to have working smoke alarms as they should by law, and we want you to test them on that date.
Okay. Does that happen to also fall on the same date where we fall back with our clocks, or no?
No. No,
okay, because that's when I normally think about changing our smoke alarm. But this is great. It has its own date, September the 28th.
It does. And something, speaking of that, twice a year we change our clocks, and we've been very lucky and very good at changing our batteries on those dates. So this picking that date of, September 28th to be saved by the beep, I hope is going to work for us across the province.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
Yes.
Any other smoke alarm advice that you want to give right now?
You want to know something? people can go to savebythebeep.ca. There's all kinds of brochures and information about smoke alarms. You know, the responsibilities of homeowners, building owners, tenants, you know, installing and testing and maintaining your smoke alarms, and what to do with nuisance alarms, how to manage them. Great information available online.
So you can even take the initiative to download the brochure for your own place of work.
100%.
Whether you're an office manager or not, health and safety doesn't matter. You can just make sure you have it and make sure that...
Join our team of fire safety ambassadors, please.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yes. Everyone can do that. That's beautiful. Now, this campaign is the snazziest campaign that I've ever seen run through a fire department. And I understand you guys did some research.
Yes, the Office of the Fire Marshal did some research. They did their homework, and they went to campaigns like Mad Canada to see, you know, how they were able to be effective in their, you know, drive against drunk driving. And you know, we took their lessons and applied their lessons, and the great people of the Office of the Fire Marshal developed this type of signage and these brochures to help us deliver the message through the fire departments in the province.
Beautiful. Yeah. Well, congratulations, because it is a fabulous campaign, and I really hope this tips the scales for fire fatalities.
Yes, so
do you guys have a goal as to what you want to? I know you'd want to bring it down to 0.
0 would be ideal.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you what is your? Do you have any numbers that you're aiming on? And I don't even know how to word that.
0.
You are aiming for 0.
Sadly, there's been fire fatalities this year already. But you know, reducing the number every day, every month, every year would be our prime objective as fire services across the province.
Okay. And you know what? Every time one of our viewers hears a fire truck or an ambulance or something like that, think about the safety within your home. And maybe that can be, okay, hopefully you don't miss September 28th, but maybe that can remind you of that date, September 28th, and then to double check the safety within your own home.
Yes, that would be ideal. Thank you, Jackie.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I want to say congratulations before we end this. Congratulations on Camp Molly, that as we're filming this today, it has been launched.
Yes, Camp Molly Durham began today. It's going for 4 days. It's for young women ages 15 to 18 to experience what it's like to be a firefighter, and hopefully give them the skills and the ideals that, you know, it might be a career choice for them in the future.
Beautiful. Yeah. And if anyone is interested in that for a future Camp Molly, is that possible? Is it going to be a regular thing, or is it going to be happening in different municipalities?
I'll give you a little secret. We're hoping to host it next year in Scugog.
Okay.
Yes.
Fingers are crossed. So they can keep an eye on your website.
Yes. They can.
Beautiful.
Yeah, 100%.
Mark, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's always lovely to get your expertise and to keep us all safe. So thank you so much. We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
Should never have agreed to this last race. She's too old. Eddie! Coming in there! Johnson, halyard back! Get to it, Matt!
Appears there's some kind of difficulty.
There seems to be something loose up there, I believe.
Her topsail's foul!
Just once more, old girl, and you can rest.
Her last race and still undefeated, the Blue Nose out of Lunenburg, Nova Scotia was fastest in the world for almost 20 years.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I'm here with Kareem Harji, who is the CIBC Run for the Cure Run Director, and he's the Run Director for Durham. It's really nice to have you on the show.
Pleasure to be here.
So there's obviously still opportunity to get involved with the run on many different levels. So whether people want to run, but also if they want to volunteer. So what are the different volunteer opportunities that you still have available?
So we have a ton of volunteer opportunities. So the first one is in the Hope Lounge, really our VIP area where we want to show appreciation and support for those who are currently undergoing cancer treatment or those who have in the past. Additionally, we also have a ton of volunteer opportunities on the grounds itself, the day of, and also on the route. So there's tons to do, tons we need help with, and we would love to have everybody there.
How long is the run?
So the run there's two kinds. You can either do a 1K or you can do a 5K.
Okay.
Both of which have the same starting point. And yeah, both start at about 10 a.m., I believe.
Okay, so the run is on October the 1st, 10 a.m., and where is it taking place?
The Jubilee Pavilion.
Okay, so is that on, what is that, Lake?
So that's on
Lakeshore?
55 Lakeview Drive
okay.
In Oshawa.
Okay, beautiful. So this is your first year with this run. Have you been involved with other runs before?
I have. So not particular runs, but I've been working with other charitable organizations. This one is fantastic, mainly for the reason that it's volunteer-led. So all our committees, all our team leads are all volunteers, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And we have the opportunity to show and hopefully show support to those who are undergoing such a tough disease. And we do want to try and make sure that we give everybody the support and also give them the opportunity to know that we are behind them. And finally, also if we can give them funds for research, it would be ideal because it's 1 in 8 women that effectively go through it, and we want to make sure that we give every woman the fighting chance to fight it as much as possible.
You know what's been very surprising for me is the amount of people that I'm finding out that have been dealing with cancer, whether it's breast cancer or ovarian cancer or whatever it is. Maybe it's also the age category that I'm in now, but it's also wonderful of not only the support that you're providing to individuals, because this is a very emotional, physical, mental, spiritual experience that people are going through that is intensive, not only for the individuals that are going through the, let's say, cancer treatments, but their whole unit, their family unit, their friend unit. It really impacts everyone. So having events like this, I feel like it is bringing support to the whole community and bringing celebration about strength and how we can get through anything together, right?
Agreed.
I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful thing that that you're involved with.
For sure, it's great. I love it, and just our motto is all for one for all. So
I love that.
It's really all about community, and like you said, it's families get affected. Not just individuals, so we need to show support and love to all those involved and affected.
Beautiful. So people can, we were talking about volunteering, and if they want to just fundraise for it, that's an opportunity. So they can themselves, they can join the run, they can get a corporate group together. Anything else that you want to share about different ways that they can donate?
Yeah, sure. So one of the ways is you can register yourself as an individual and just donate or run yourself.
Yeah.
You can create a team with family and friends, or you can create a team with your office coworkers, all of which, again, pulls up into the same thing. So as long as you can get people out, or even yourself, and just show support, anything helps.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's fantastic. And so what is the website that they should go to?
So they should go to the cancer.ca website.
Okay.
And really everything is on there. However, they can always reach out to us. There's contact information there for our direct team, and we will be happy to reach out and answer any questions that you have.
Beautiful. Now, I know some runs are very open to bringing pets with them. What about this particular run? Can you bring a dog with you? And
Yeah,
Okay.
you can bring dogs, you can bring your pets. You don't even have to necessarily run. If you want to walk, we're more than happy to have that as well.
Any rollerblading?
Yeah, anything is fine.
Not that I would rollerblade, but I'm just curious as to whether...
No, I'm pretty sure it would be fine.
Yeah, okay. Scooters, things like that.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Or a dog on the scooter. That could be pretty festive.
That would be interesting. I'm sure that would deserve a photo op.
Rollerblades. Well, it was so nice having you on the show, and I want to thank you for the impact that you're making. Like by being the director of this run, you are helping to obviously make this happen. You have a big role. There's a lot of responsibility there, and I just want to say I appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you. I would like to add, though, that most of the work is done by the team, not by the directors.
Okay, beautiful.
So I would love to give my team a shout out. They've been doing a phenomenal job, and just everybody at the CIBC Run for the Cure and Canadian Cancer Society. So really the thanks go out to them, and also to everybody who's involved supporting and donating and, you know, just showing appreciation for it.
Thank you. Thank you. So thank you very much for all that you do, and I hope you get involved with the CIBC Run for the Cure. We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
These days at your local Legion, we're marching to the beat of a different drum. On a mission to support veterans, to have fun, and to welcome everyone to our ranks. You don't have to be a veteran to join the Legion. And as a member, you'll join thousands of others serving our veterans, our communities, and our country. Oh yeah, and our Member Perks program will save you thousands on shopping, dining, products, and services across the country. Join us at legion.ca.
Community ultimately is always the people you surround yourself with.
If I ever leave this area, I'm never going to forget these country river nights.
Allowing people from outside of the area and in the area experience farm life, experience art.
Wawena, take care. Chumigwach, thank you very much. Kwabin, see you later.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So I have Holly Gadri, and she is an author. And this is very exciting because she has been, I want to make sure I get this right. Do I say anointed? Do I say appointed? She is the Scugog Poet Laureate.
Yes.
So what an incredible honor.
Yes, it is.
Now, can you explain to anyone out there, because I had no idea what this was until we had a conversation, what is a Poet Laureate?
So a Poet Laureate is someone who brings art, specifically poetry, to the community and also creates poetry to celebrate a community and commemorate a community. So it's a way of bringing people together, of, you know, unifying and amplifying. And in my case, I will be doing it for the township of Scugog and maybe a little bit more broadly Durham region, but mostly Scugog. So one of the first things I'm doing is I'll be at Culture Days, which is on the 23rd in Port Perry, and I will be there being introduced, but I'll also be at the Blackout Poetry Tent, helping people write blackout or erasure poetry. Maybe I'll get some writing done. Somebody can help me write a poem.
Oh,
so
beautiful.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Now, did all of this launch because of the latest book that just came out in the spring called Rebellion Box? Yeah. Was it because of that?
Well, I'd been writing poetry for years, and it's been published for years in like literary journals, but I finally wrote a book of poetry, so that certainly helped, I think. And Rebellion Box's poems are very hyper-local. So the title poem, Rebellion Box, for instance, is inspired by a lecture I went to at the Uxbridge Historical Society with local historian Alan McGilvery. And he was talking about these rebellion boxes that the men carved out of stove wood when they were imprisoned in Fort Henry during the rebellion of 1837. And Joseph Gould, the founder of Uxbridge, or one of the founders of Uxbridge, was one of these people. So I was interested in the box. It was very nice, but I was more interested in the stories behind the men who made these boxes when they didn't know what was going to become of them. I mean, some of them were being executed. Some of them got to go free, but there they were in this dingy little prison in Kingston. It's not really a little prison, but a dingy prison in Kingston, carving boxes that they'd send home to their loved ones that were full of hope. And so I thought that was really beautiful.
Yeah.
So, and then there's poems about Lucy Maud Montgomery. There's poems about Thomas Foster, who did the Foster Memorial. So I'm very interested always in the hyperlocal, because I think a lot of us tend to think that life is happening somewhere else, that, you know, the bigger the platform, the better. You know, the bigger the city, the better. When the truth is, life is always happening for me, most interestingly and most powerfully, right here on a community level. It's your neighbors. Like, it's the most fascinating people I've ever met live very close to me.
Yes,
and you just,
I agree.
Yeah, so I think, you know, the grass is always greener mentality is one that I fight against a lot, because, I mean, I used to think so. That's why I left this region as soon as I could when I went to university. But then you know, you get out in the world in the big cities and everything, you're like, oh, this sucks. I want to come back. And so I did.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, okay, first of all, congratulations
Thank you.
on the Rebellion Box and on being designated as the Scugog Poet Laureate.
Yes.
Now, you have another book that will be coming out. Do you want to give us a little bit of a idea what that's about?
Sure. Yeah, all my books kind of bleed into one another. So or kind of jump off something about the book before. So, you know, Rebellion Box was inspired by my first book, which was a memoir called Fuse, which discussed mixed race identity and mental illness and how labels can hurt us and harm us. And, you know, so that kind of led into Rebellion Box, about rebelling against labels. And then Rebellion Box had a poem in it that really stuck with me called Psychomachia. And Widow Fantasies, this collection of very short fiction, came out of it. It's coming out with Gordon Hill Press next year, and it was inspired by a conversation I had with my therapist, because I was fantasizing about my husband's funeral. And if you read the poem Psychomachia, it's in there. And I was thinking, what's wrong with me? Like, I was never, you know, I love this man. What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
And then we were talking about life and what things are like at home, and she started talking about how women, you know, working that second shift, being in charge of all the care duties of children, even when you have a very liberated, you know, husband like my husband, it's still always almost up to me to figure stuff out for the house, to buy birthday presents, Christmas presents, respond to birthday invitations, deal with all the muckety-muck you get back from school, on top of me having a full-time job.
Yeah.
So I was having these fantasies and, you know, think of what I'd dress the baby in, how I'd braid my daughter's hair, how beautiful all my children would look. And I would never think of anything bad happening to my children in 1,000 years. But my husband, I was like, So apparently it's completely normal. And she said as long as she didn't see me buying rat poison at the hardware store, that it's okay. So she said, you know, women use fantasies to escape. Beautiful. And so these stories are all talking about how women use fantasies to escape the subjugations of their everyday lives.
So it will be a book of all short stories that are these fantasies.
All these fantasies.
Amazing. Yeah. All right, we need to wrap this up. Yeah. I think we have to have you back on the show. We can have some super fun conversations.
Thank you.
So congratulations again.
You.
We have the Scugog Poet Laureate in the house. So we'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
The regulars, the guys who keep this place in business. Last week, they had something to celebrate. Jason had just finished university. So they toasted his profs, his TAs, his old roommates. Well, they toasted just about everyone. But I worry about and take care of my guys. So even when I know they're not driving, sometimes that means bringing them a little surprise. And then they had a drink to me.
Brought to you by Smart Serve Ontario and Arrive Alive, Drive Sober.
I'm Eric Marchinosa, Cinema Scene in Review. Join me for a monthly movie roundup of new releases either in theaters or available to stream. See you next time in Review.
Hello, I'm
I'm Judith Tate, host and producer of At the Heart of Business. Join me each week as we get to know women in business and learn all about their challenges and successes. That's At the Heart of Business right here on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So that is a wrap of another show. And before we go, I'm going to pull some cards from my Luminous Humanist deck to give us the energy for this week, just to see what to expect and how you can best work with it. So before starting this, I've been shuffling, and these two cards were like popping out. So these are the ones I'm going to go by. All right. Oh, wow. Okay. So the first one is Iridescent Opulence. This card actually came out for me, I think it was at the beginning of last week. Okay, so we are going through this beautiful transformation right now, and it is, we are creating more openness, so more clarity and focus in the direction that we're going. We're more connected in with the core essence of who we are. So this is a week of moving forward with focus, with clarity. There's stuff that is underway. You're getting more information. People are coming in to help. They're showing me like a director's chair to help direct your path, so you are on the right life path. There might be more that comes through for that. I feel like I need to move over here. Naturally high. So for this particular week, look at what you're consuming. Think about the amount of caffeine you're taking in, the sugar intake, alcohol, or even, let's say you like doing cannabis. Keep an eye on the intake there, because more and more we need to be going more on our natural high. So finding the joy in what you're doing, as opposed to necessarily needing to go for this substance to help you to feel better, to get that little right? So maybe try some fun music. Try going for a walk in nature. So just find that balance. It's not that you necessarily have to stop having caffeine or whatever it is, but just find that balance. So because if you're using too much of substances, then you can get yourself into problems. So that is it. So that is it. This is a wrap, and we will see you next week for more on Uxbridge Scugog Life. Bye.
Call the Rogers TV Viewer Response Line. Email us or connect with us on social media.
We were born in Canada. We spoke English. On the streets, we weren't welcome. But on the field, we were the assassin. Vancouver's champions. Everyone cheered for us. Our people had a voice. Then Canada declared war on Japan. They took us from our homes, called us enemies, forced us into camps.